Join our psychedelic smoke sesh as we explore exciting new dimensions of existence, thought, and possibility.
We'll take you out of this world and blaze through infinite realms, while occasionally forgetting what we were saying.
This is Higher Consciousness. Welcome back to Higher Consciousness, Season 5, Episode 3.
5, 3 is 8, and that's a great number.
Yes.
I dig it.
Yes, it is. So, wow.
I don't know what I'm going to come up with whenever we start the show, but
Neither do I.
Pops in my
it's
brain.
always a gamble.
That's right.
And
Anyways.
fingers crossed it goes well.
That's right.
Ooh, excuse me. I knew it.
There's the burp. You're trying to get all the burps out.
I was trying. I knew I had one locked in. So,
locked up in there.
This episode, we're going to be talking about soulmates.
You always do that. I swear, like, every single time, no matter what it is, it's always like, maybe. It could be doggies. Like, it doesn't matter what the word is. Like, that's the inflection that's always put.
Yeah, because that's how we introduce the show, Dave. And it's fun that way, Dave.
It's fun, yeah.
It's so much fun that way.
So soulmates, huh?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about soulmates since this is the season of love. And we're just going to sing the whole time and be a musical. Soulmates. Mary Jane.
So not a musical person. But
whereas
I have respect for it. Yeah, you better be careful with your spirit fingers. We got wine glasses tonight.
Okay, so this is the season of love. So before we get into everything, if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so by hitting that subscribe button and that bell notification so you can get notified anytime we upload something.
I'm just pointing at corners, I don't know.
Yeah, we just point everywhere. Because internet's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you are listening through a podcast, please make sure that you are subscribed via whatever streaming service you are listening to.
If you got that podcast pulled up, you're listening through it.
Make sure that you're following, make sure you're subscribing, so you can also stay up to date on any new episodes that we drop this season.
And
so,
by the way,
Thursdays, 8 p.m. every time.
In case y'all don't know, and you haven't watched our other micro shows, because we have micro shows that are 30 minutes long on Thursday and Fridays at noon. Thursdays are Wake and Bakes. Fridays are Make and Bakes. We're going to probably come up with something else. I don't even know. It's going to be a rake and bake soon when I'm going to be raking leaves outside smoking.
I'm looking forward to the lake and bake where we go to all the different lakes and get bakes. I'm also looking forward to the Jake and Bake.
Yeah. Jake and Bake is going to be an interesting show. I don't know a Jake.
I do.
So
I know so many Jakes. I know so many Jakes.
Oh, well. We're not going to go into that. But anyway.
Please do all that if you haven't already. So our Higher Consciousness Instagram, if you're unaware of what that is higher_consciousness_talk. That's where, like what Dave was saying, we're doing all of our microdose shows. And our Make and Bakes, for those of you who don't know what that is when we're creating some art while getting high and talking consciousness.
Crafting cannabis.
Actually, I want to show you what I'm working on right now.
Oh, shit.
This is what I'm working on for the moment. This is a bong. I know podcasters, you're going to have to use your imagination, but it is a bong. It is a really small glass bong, and at the bottom are these beautiful hand-placed hemp leaves.
This is an ASMR episode.
Yes. So I'm going to be working on this during the Make and Bakes. And when I'm done, I will be offering it for sale for anybody who is interested. I have a couple more things that I'm going to be doing up here and other things to make it all pretty and other whatnot. So
Another whatnot.
Yep, whatnot. So
you got that right.
Yep, and then Dave's always making his mushroom art. And then Thursdays, Wake and Bakes, we're just having some breakfast with some conversations.
Sometimes
and
it's
some Mary
donuts.
Jane. Sometimes it's apples.
Fruit. Yeah.
Sometimes it's nothing.
But it's gonna no.
No, there's always something.
I've made it a point to make sure that there's something, because it has to be more festive of the occasion, right?
Yes.
Wake and bake. You eat breakfast when you wake and bake. You're drinking coffee. I'm not a coffee person. I don't really drink it in the morning.
I drink mushroom coffee. Not
so I
regular
just
coffee.
I stick to whiskey, wine, whatever.
He sticks to his whiskey in the morning. No, just kidding. No, he does not. He does not do that. Okay, so before we get into the blessing, let's go ahead and clear the space and open up our hearts and our minds and perspectives to get ready for this. This is my...
As long as there's no embers that are flying around.
It'll be fine. This is my Mary Jane bundle, which you can get on Indiegogo. Through meaningfuldream.com, you'll see the direct link on the banner. So this is to help open us up, to create any... I was just doing it to your dick.
I was like, okay, well, let's get it to the people. To the people.
Let's open up the hearts and the minds and the perspectives of those who are listening and or watching. Thank you for being here with us today. May Mary Jane take you on this cosmic ride alongside with us. And may we explore the soulmate energy and all the things that revolve around soulmates.
Soulmate.
Perfect. So we're going to let that keep going. This burns for a really long time.
So it'll be our incense.
So because this is the season of love and we're talking about soulmates, I'm going to be using this Luna essence. It's from the blue moon and our third wedding date. And the mantra that comes with this is I am higher love. So we say that 3 times and then I'll spray it. Ready?
Uh-huh.
I am higher love. I am higher love. I am higher love. Yes, receive, receive.
Got a blast right on my crown there.
Well, that's where you needed it.
That's very ready to go, Dave.
Yes, I love it. It's very, it has like a non-champa kind of scent to it.
It does have a non-champa.
Yes.
Non-champa.
Non-champa. Champa.
God. It's like my least favorite voice of yours.
I know, and I love it.
I don't know why. It's just like...
He hates it so much, and I don't understand why.
It's like Kermit
but it's
meets
so funny to me.
The dude from the Goonies.
The dude from the
I can't remember his name now. I used to know. It's like Smog or... Not Smog. That's the...
I don't know.
Lord of the Rings dragon.
I never paid attention. So...
Blessing!
We got Better Butter Brothers
Better.
flower with us today. It is beautiful. This is Sherb Cake. Shout out to Better Butter Brothers on Insta. If you aren't following them, please do so.
Tyler.
That is what we're smoking
Devin.
today. Devin and Tyler. All right, ready? So let's take a deep breath. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Bless you, Mary Jane, and thank you for being here with us today. May you open the hearts and the minds and the perspectives to those who are listening and or watching. May we have a great conversation about soulmates. May it be informative and provide clarity for those listening and watching. May we have a dope time. May we have a fun time. And thank you for your medicine. And so dope it be.
Oh, so dope it be.
See, and you're like making the upset that it was a musical and you sang. So,
hymn chanting is difficult. It is different than musical. All right. Hymnings and musicals.
I don't think so.
Are very different.
I think they're not different.
They're quite different in the sense that like a hymn is supposed to be like kind of like subdued, almost like chanty, versus like a musical is very like jovial, upbeat, like oh my God, I'm dancing instead of oh my God, she's coughing again.
But have you not seen Sweeney Todd?
Yeah.
That's a dark musical. Musicals can be dark too, Dave.
False.
It's true.
Have you seen Kiki Boots?
No. I haven't actually. I would like to though.
Good show.
Yeah, that's good. So, soulmates. Let's talk about soulmates and see where we go. So
kind of like roommates, but for your soul.
So one of the things I want to say about soulmates is that soulmates don't only mean a romantic partner. Soulmates can also be friends. They can be family, coworkers, animals.
Dogs.
Wow. Yeah. Dogs,
cats,
animals, cats, lizards,
chinchillas,
snakes, all of that.
Monkeys.
Yep, they can be bears. They could be your soulmate too.
you got soulmate in the bear.
I do. They have a bear ranch in the UP that I want to go to so bad. And you could hold a bear cub, and I want to like hold it, but like you made me like worry because of Tiger King. But anyway, soulmates.
No, the Tiger King made you worry because of the Tiger King.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Do you hear there's a second season they're working on that bullshit?
There doesn't need to be a second season. One season was plenty of chaos.
Yeah, I don't need any more. We don't need any more.
Like, we don't need any more, like, abuse of...
As I say, drinking
abuse
wine
towards animal. Yeah, no, that's not okay. So, again, soulmates don't just mean romantic partners. However, that is a part of it. That is an aspect of it. But it is not the only thing about it.
Well, I mean, when I think of soulmates in the sense of a coming together of the masculine, feminine, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, right? In a more cosmic union, right? Mm-hmm. Versus what you were just talking about, which is more of a soul lineage, I would say, right? Where like your consciousness, because like my consciousness is derived from a union of my mind and my head, right? Mm-hmm. So part of my soul, part of my consciousness is attached to their soul lineage, making us soul mates in a way. I think that more so though, there's a deeper underlying relationship between the masculine, feminine, or I keep saying that, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, in creating a divine union of soul, bringing together two opposite aspects of self to create a new perspective of wholeness, right? Because that was my foot on a thing like this.
Okay. I was like, it sounded like it came from like the window outside. I was like,
oh no,
who's out there?
Is it somebody out there?
Is it Kit Kat, the neighborhood cat?
He was watching What If and what the like dude, the watcher, and he was just watching everybody in the known universe. Maybe he's out there watching us.
See, it's interesting that you said the divine masculine and divine feminine, because I guess I've always seen it as it could be either or. It could be two of the divine masculine coming together, to the divine feminine coming together, just depending on the situation and the people and what they're more dominant or of.
Well, that would be, exactly, because everyone
has masculine and feminine.
Right, and you can be more dominant in one trait or the other, right? Mm-hmm. So, it could very well, because, I mean, look at most same-sex, I say most, this is not a generalization, I would say most same-sex couples have kind of those, traits that they take on. One takes on more of a feminine trait, one takes on more of a masculine trait. But then there's but there are those in the middle that are expressive of both. Wouldn't you say? Like my uncles, they're expressive of both. I wouldn't say one of them is more feminine than the other.
Well, it doesn't just go for people who are gay either. It goes for any couple. Like, I've known men to be more feminine than they are masculine, and same with women.
I understand. I guess what I'm trying to express is a more, I'm trying to say this without sounding intolerant. Men and women come together to create another life, right?
Sure. I'm just trying to
think. You're saying that as if like two men can have a baby or two women can have a baby biologically.
Okay, if we're talking biologically, then no, we can't.
Well, that's one thing I would like to discuss, and maybe it's just because it's coming forward right now, it's a good time to discuss it. Like, I understand that we live in a world of sensitivity, and we can't say certain things because it implies that you're being insensitive. However, there are just natural things like a man and a man can't have sex to make a baby. A woman and a woman can't have sex to make a baby.
Of course,
it's just not
yes.
biologically possible.
Yes.
So like
yes,
that
you're
to
absolutely right.
right, that to me is part of the conversation. It can't be ignored. So in my mind, it makes sense that the divine masculine represented in a man and the divine feminine represented in a female are coming together time and time again through millennia in order to perpetuate this sense of species through our consciousness here on Earth. That then in and of itself is a reflection of the more broader relationship between beings of opposites throughout the cosmos. Because soulmates exist throughout the cosmos, not just here on Earth.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. There could be an alien species out there where there's a masculine and a feminine of that species. I don't know what the fuck they look like. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Maybe they're like some gas beings that exist on Saturn somewhere. I don't know. But they come together, they make this divine union of consciousness then perpetuating itself throughout, time and space. So that to me is where I would like to start. But then after that, that extrapolates into a lot of these different expressions of souls meeting soul. Doesn't, like you say, have to be romantic. Doesn't have to be, for a purpose of creating another life, right? It could just be a meeting of souls divinely set. Like, me and all of my friends that I have, or you and all the family that you have. Like, doesn't matter. Those are still divine meetings of, really, when you think about it, infinitesimally impossible odds that you would be paired with those people, that you would meet those people. I mean, think about how
they would
many
be in your life. Yeah.
Right, like think of how many people you literally glance at once throughout your day
and you never see
and you
again.
will never see that person again.
Yeah. You'll see that's like
It's amazing to really think about. And to think about how many people in your life you see constantly.
Yeah. Well, I definitely believe in soul contracts, and I feel like that plays, that part of it is like I think, have soul contracts to have certain people come into our lives at certain points in our time in order to help us grow, in order to help us move towards something or move away towards something or learn something
Well, and it's like a
or
back
just
and forth
like
too.
serve like a purpose for a moment. Yeah, and it is back and forth. It is something that there's an even, well, not always even, but I would say there is an exchange
Right.
that happens between those soul contracts. And oftentimes there is an even exchange. And sometimes those soul contracts can be, just bear like down to like your own soul. Like your soul has, said that you would come here to meet this person until this happened. And then that would be a time where you guys would no longer be in each other's lives.
Right.
Or it could be the opposite. You meet this person and you're in their lives for forever. Or it's temporary. Or they come at, these certain people come in at certain points of times. And, so I feel like there's that other level to soulmates that we are also, I think, needing to discuss too, like with everything you're saying. It's just interesting because I never heard like your perspective of soulmates up until now. So I'm just kind of like, okay. So it just is a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different things to think about. But
well, when I think about our incarnation within this physical existence, right? We, at least when I try to connect back to the all, the I am, the existence of all things, the infinite, right? When I'm in meditation,
I feel like your glass is like really in your face.
when I get into
There you
meditation and I work to get closer into connection with that beingness, I wouldn't even say it's an energy at that point because it's a beingness, right? I would say that when I connect to that, I am connecting to different deviations of wholeness. So when I connect to certain energies, what I'm doing is I'm connecting to Mother Earth, Father Sky, right? Mother and Father, heaven and earth, divine feminine, divine masculine, right? the two sexes, and then ancestors and spirit guides, right? So it's also directional as well, because to me the ancestors are, you know, what comes from behind you. Yeah. And then your spirit guides are in front of you, kind of pulling you forward, right? And so in my mind, that sort of grounds you within all directions. And then you, in a way, you surround yourself with all this protective energy, loving energy, and that allows you to kind of like connect to the inner core, the inner self, the I am, the infinite. And so when I say, like, you know, soulmates being kind of the union of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, oh no, we're running out of power. Hit that button, girl. When we do the union of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, that's what I'm talking about, is like kind of the coming together of those two energies, you know, also heaven and earth, and then past and present, or past and future, in order to arrive at the moment, right? The beingness, the I am, right? So I guess that's why I framed it the way I did, because that is sort of where it begins, right? So but then consciousness.
Are you talking about this is where soulmates begin?
The idea of a soul.
Okay, so you're talking about the idea of a soul, just so to be clear about.
Sorry, I guess I didn't.
Because you kind of like went on this like trail, and we like took off on another ride. So I just I know, but I just wanted to make sure before we went any further where exactly we were going.
Yeah, so to make sure I knew. I'm being clear. Like, I'm talking about like the idea of a soul. You know, like the I am is just one awareness. I wouldn't even say it's a soul, right? I would just say it's an awareness. Because to me, when you use the word soul, to me, that is when you start to deviate from the one. You know, you start to split it into these permeations of itself, or these little, you know, shreds of itself.
It's still a part of the one, but it has an individual.
It has individuality. It has its own possibility to observe itself, right? Yeah. So that, in a way, is what I think soulmates are an expression of, is those different recognitions of self. Like, think about it. Yeah, how many people have you seen, met, and experienced in your life, and compare that to how many people you would say you are deeply connected to? And it is infinitesimally small compared to the amount of people you've encountered thus far in your life. I'm sure both of us have encountered hundreds of thousands of people throughout our lives, if not more. Yes. Right? And in my 35 years, I definitely have come into contact with at least, I would say, 1 million different people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And when I say contact, quite literally glancing at them from
or like walking past them, or a car.
Just being aware of their existence.
Exactly. They're just like, or even like, I would say even actors and actresses and like those background players, they count too.
But like you interact with them. How many people in your life you actually would say you have a deep, meaningful relationship with? And to connect it to what you were saying, like if we have soul contracts, and in those contracts we are contracted to be a part of these people's lives and to have them as part of our lives.
Well, I think when those soul contracts are happening, you do feel a pull, and it's like a natural pull. It's almost like a familiarity when you do come across a soulmate of some sort. There is almost like an instantaneous kind of understanding, even though you may not have the words to be able to express it immediately, but there's this sense of feeling and knowing when you come across a soulmate. How many people have you met that you met for the first time and you automatically felt like you knew them for tens or like years before, lived a life before? That I would say is essentially like a soulmate. That is a version of a soulmate. But that doesn't mean like if you don't have that intense feeling at first that they're not a soulmate. I think that time can come in later, but often, majority of the time, I would say we feel that kind of intense pull towards that person, or that kind of like, I like this person, or this person's really interesting, because essentially it's just an understanding and a acknowledgement of a reflection of you, a reflection
Right.
of like a part of you, or it could be a reflection of an opposite of you in some fashion, depending on the
Hmm.
scenario and the person and all of the other things.
Well, it could also be just divine timing too.
Oh yeah,
Because
divine timing is totally a
you and I
thing.
were, we came across one another's radar many, 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 many years ago,
Yeah, we
and
crossed paths
and
before.
you had actually had asked for to be put in contact with me,
Well,
you
yeah,
know.
before this was like the year that I met you was when I asked for that.
But still, it's just
Um,
like,
but we had
why
crossed
didn't
paths
it happen
before
earlier?
though.
Like, yeah, why didn't it happen earlier? Why didn't it happen, prior to that?
Well, my friend literally told me you
If it
weren't
was,
ready yet. And
but
I was
again, if
just
it
like, what do
was,
you mean? I'm
if
like,
you're
I think
saying,
in some ways that was true.
but if a lot of people are saying that, like, when you first like meet someone or you first understand like their, who they are in their existence, like you're instantly attracted to them, you like have
Just
that
feel
love
that
at
like
first sight kind of
feeling,
thing.
yeah.
But I mean, it's like we didn't really meet one another, but we were still in a way like destined to come together. It just was like a series of things that had to happen in order for it to like
For it to
come
happen.
together,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that happens for a lot of people too. I
Oh yeah, you could totally like cross paths with. I've heard of somebody that ended up marrying somebody that ended up living like a block away from them their entire lives, and they had
no
no
fucking way,
idea.
really.
Yeah.
That's
And they
crazy.
had no idea, and they had like been around in that same like vicinity or area for
Yeah.
like years and years and years. Where
That's
I've like
wild.
met people who have like went on a foreign trip and met that one
A
person.
foreign trip.
Yeah,
A trip abroad.
and like unexpectedly meeting their like other partner, or
Right.
or whether it be at home or there.
Well, and then there are people that like, not to bring it down, but then, there are people that have been in long-term relationships and then meet someone and then it's just like this instant, like, oh my God, like,
Yeah,
I'm in love with this person, like,
I mean that's
it's a weird thing. It is, but think about that in the infinite existence of consciousness. Like, it makes perfect sense. Like, it would make less sense that we wouldn't have all of these like nuanced relationships and these very experimental expressions of what it means to be connected to other people via either a romantic relationship or a kinship relationship. I mean, there are people that from the more, I think, basic understanding of it, like there are people that aren't parents to children, but just because of their love for someone, they'll jump into a relationship and then jump into a parent role.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think
Just
that's
because
a
they
that's a
feel that it's their calling or it's their thing,
or it's just a pattern, an inner child pattern that has yet to be addressed.
Yeah.
And like, there would be, I would say there would be some an opportunity for inner child healing if you fall into that often. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad thing per
No.
se. But I think there's a boundary that I think we have to have. So yeah, soulmates we can really talk about this for like a really, really long time, I feel, just because there's so much to
Oh, cats.
chew, and I gotta
Oh
sneeze
my
too.
God, there's so many allergic issues going on at the moment. I live in a
Oh
house
my
of
God.
allergies between the cats and you. I don't know what is my deal. Like, I'm not really all that allergic. I have like some dry skin situations, but like that's just seasonal shit, man. It's dry outside.
It is dry outside. That's why I'm not able to smoke nearly as much weed, and I haven't been able to wear makeup because
It's
my
all right,
eyes
buddy.
have been really dry
You'll be
and
okay.
itchy.
You're okay. Go drink some water. You'll be okay.
It's okay, my baby. My sweet baby. So yeah, soulmates can like we said, soulmates can,
and it could happen like across like vast like degrees of age too, like you can
yeah, for sure. You don't need to be
like,
the same age.
yeah, like huge connections with people that are like 50, 60 years older than you, like I've seen people that have like deep meaningful relationships with their grandparents, where they're almost like best friends. I've never had that relationship with my grandparents,
Yeah.
But something like that, you know, where it's like, if you have this really just amazing, joyful, passionate relationship with someone, even if it is like your grandpa or your grandma or whatever, that has major impact in your life. It has
for
major
sure.
impact on their life.
And on your identity and how you
all the other things that it has impact on, and how that relates to your soul contract, how that relates to their soul contract, how it relates to the overall collective, you know.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think about all of the infinitesimally small little tiny parts of conscious beingness. You know, how like we're all just in these webs of potential realities, because we're all making choices, we're all making free will choices as to what we want to do, and based off of our best intentions, like our best intentions, our best thoughts, like projections, like whatever happened in the past, we do the best we can to make all these choices. But at the end of the day, like, it comes down to that choice that you make. But oftentimes that choice that you make is like completely based off of like all this other computing that's going on that might not completely be in harmony with your soul.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes I think soulmates might not even be able to like meet one another at the time that they need to meet one another, because one of them is too much in their head.
Well, yeah, they're unwilling to come into alignment with that with that current, you know, because in order for you to be able to meet somebody, you have to have a similar current of energy.
Exactly.
And it doesn't, and sometimes you will get the opposite. I mean, you always will get the opposite no matter what. But if you're wanting to meet a soulmate in particular and they are in a certain frequency, you also need to be in that similar frequency in order for them to have that attraction, that pull for you guys to be able to come together. And if you don't have that frequency, then you could easily miss them. But then there is a part of me that does believe that if it truly is meant to be, it will happen, and it may just not happen in the timing that it's meant to. But I think there's a lot of different levels and things to it that come with it at the end of the day. And I think it's important to understand that a soulmate doesn't complete us. Rather, they are just a reflection of us.
Like, that's another misconception that I'm glad you brought up.
Because
it's not like you're incomplete until you find a soulmate, and then once you find your soulmate, you're a whole soul again. Like,
yeah.
Come on now.
No, it's just it is like a joining of it's a joining of two souls, I would say. Like, and I think that's what marriage really represents, is like a joining of two souls coming together, but you still are a separate soul. You still are like an individual, but you have you're not incomplete. Like, you didn't
or imperfect or unworthy.
Yeah, we didn't come into this world being incomplete. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we wouldn't be able to come in this world if we weren't complete. So we're complete by the time we come into this world. It's just that we learn a lot of these things, and we learn these conditions. We learn society views and perspectives, what we're taught from our parents, our surroundings, and things like that. And yes, that does shape who we are, but we also already come here with a sense of self. I think it's just remembering. I feel like that's what a lot of this life is about, is remembering. Because there are people who have always been easily connected to their soul since they're really young and have a really clear idea of who they are. Some have not, you know, and I feel like it just depends on that soul's journey. But there's no denial that babies come in with personalities, like, already.
My brother and I were very different, even as little babies.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, they're just born. They just came out of the womb. How could they already develop a personality with such little time? So that's like, I think, evidence that we come in with this completeness, and I think we're always complete. We're always perfect. And I feel like that's the perfect and perfectly imperfect. But yes, soulmates don't complete each other. Right, because we're always ebbing and flowing. We're always changing.
And we're only meant to be as perfect as we're meant to be in that moment. Because why would I expect myself to be more perfect than I am right now?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's about, it's about being in that moment. It's about being in the presence.
Right. That is one thing that I feel like really puts you in alignment, like you were saying, in that source field of energy that puts you into the coherence field of attraction. where like you can call those things into your life or those people into your life. You know, meditation is a practice to get there, but also being in the moment, mindfulness. It's such a cliche thing. I think a lot of people say, like, you know, being mindful, like be mindful, you know, practice mindfulness.
Well, yeah, that's like what.
It's such a corporate way of like saying it.
Well, yeah, it's like you're not really breaking down like what exactly do you mean by that.
Aware, you know, being aware of what you're doing in the moment and being fully in that moment without thinking about a past situation or a future scenario.
Yeah. It's not to say we can't think about our past or future. That's not.
If the moment calls for it.
Yeah, if the moment calls for
you to recall something in order to make a decision in the now, that makes sense because you're in the now and you're making a decision about something in the now. But say, like, I don't need right now to compare the situation right now, like the fact that Gatsby is clawing my fucking belly. Could you not?
I'm sorry. It's because I'm petting him and he's probably
and the fact that like
loving every
I want that
to
end. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like this is what it is right now. You know, like I'm just gonna like deal with it. I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna be angry about it because he's
not doing it to be harmful. You know? Right. He's not. He's doing it because he loves the fact that he's just happy. And so when he gets happy, he does this thing where he like digs his claws into you as a way of like holding on to you closer.
Right. He's a good boy.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't even talk about how like animals are soulmates. I really truly believe that all of the fur children we have are soulmates of mine, or soul babies of mine. Yeah, exactly. Little soul babies of mine, because they truly do
familiars,
reflect,
you know.
Yeah, they're my familiars, and they all did just kind of show up in my life.
Like, who's to say that they're not actually spirit guides for you that are here? Because think about it, like,
they
what
all
if a
have,
spirit
like,
guide?
little things, so.
Yeah, what if a spirit guide is both a physical aberration, like a cat or a dog, as well as a conscious soul,
being of soul, something
that exists in another dimension, and they exist simultaneously, right? That's another thing that's really interesting, is like, can we, because I've had this existence in psychedelic mushroom trips. Yes, it is. In really intense psychedelic mushroom trips, where I have felt as though I can like detach my conscious awareness. So like I can kind of just like put my awareness into a backseat, and I can allow like my body to just be, and it's almost as if like you're stepping out, like you're Tony Stark, you're like stepping out of like the Iron Man suit, and the Iron Man suit's going about its like Iron Man-ness, and Tony's just like chilling in the background, just like watch it, like, whoa. Yeah, totally. But that's kind of how it is. That's kind of how it is in my mind.
Very interesting. Wow.
I'm not entirely sure how that connected back.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's what I was trying to sit here and think about. I was like, how did we get from Soulmates to Iron Man? Like, is Iron Man one of Dave's soulmates? Is that the truth here? Is that really what was trying to be revealed?
Oh no, it was related to the cat and the soul being distant from one another in a dimensional sense. So like, the soul is attached to the cat. The soul can like play inside the body of the cat, but it's also detached from the cat as if it exists.
Why did you just say that? Why did you have to bring
Because to me that was that interesting like expression of my own personal experience.
No, I know.
So like, to me that's what it might be like. Like, what if that is what existence is like for cats and dogs? They're a detached consciousness where like the body itself is just sort of going about its like existence, and the consciousness can kind of like exist partly within that
well,
body.
isn't that like what
know?
the speculation of humans is that this isn't really truly our mind, but rather
Right.
it's a tool to receive energy and frequencies.
Right.
But rather there's one mind and we are different reflections and spectrums of that one mind.
But then
And then
within
there's different levels of energy and consciousness.
but within the idea of soul lineage, though, there's like branches of consciousness back to that one mind. So it's not like you just like
it's
pop out of this and you're back into the
one.
one mind. It's
No,
just like
there's
you pop out and you're like connected back to
it's like a family tree, like
an
you said.
oversoul
Or the tree of life, I would say. It's like everything truly is connected in every way, shape, or form.
Right.
So the other thing I want to talk about is twin flames, which often comes up around soulmates. Yeah, it's really interesting because so I've heard a lot of different things about twin flames, but in my experience, especially after reading tarot for 6 years, it's just
tarot.
It's so crazy to me to even say that out loud, that I have professionally been reading tarot for 6 years. It's like, what the fuck? Time flew by. And I'm getting ready to like close that chapter in order to kind of explore the new artist intuitive in me. But readings might come back later. I don't know. We'll see. Baby. But yeah. So twin flames, in my experience, are essentially kind of like a more intense version, or one soul that has been split into two. So I always think of like that cell that has divided into two. That's kind of how I see twin flames. They are often a representation of a masculine and feminine, whether that means you're a man or a female or to the same sex, or if you're, it doesn't matter. Else. Yeah, someone's often dominant of the masculine and someone's often dominant of the feminine. And there is an instantaneous...
sometimes.
Yeah, and I can see how I can be much more masculine sometimes than feminine.
Truth.
Make me a sandwich, Dave.
I do not do that.
It's like the most stereotypical thing that came to my mind.
Terrible. Oh my god. So they often are masculine and feminine, and they tend to come into each other's life when the person needs to return to their soul's path or to their soul's purpose in some way, shape, or form.
Oh man,
it's like,
I felt that with you.
It's the trigger. Well, here's the thing about twin flames, though, at least in my opinion. And like, I don't feel that twin flames often are successful relationships.
Bum, bum, bum.
Because it becomes a thing where it often just gets too intense and can sometimes turn into being very volatile. However, I know that there are many people who would say that they are and have met their twin flame. And again, their perspectives, there's so many different perspectives out there, but just anytime I've seen a twin flame encounter was oftentimes they don't last. And it's because once you find that path that you're meant to return, it's like that soul contract. Once you find that moment that you needed to return to, or that thing or that person or whatever, that thought, then once that has done, then oftentimes I feel like twin flames part. And it's like the universe is like, all right, you're done.
You did.
Yeah, at least that's like, in my opinion, that's like what I feel like twin flames are. But I do feel like there is some truth that people say twin flames can be successful, because they are essentially the opposite of you in some shape or form, right?
Right.
But I just found, for whatever reason, in my experience, that sometimes twin flames don't often work. And it's because it gets to the point where it becomes too intense and it's temporary and it serves a purpose. But I often find, too, that twin flames tend to come before, like almost immediately before, not always, but pretty close to your forever person, who I feel like is more of a soulmate.
So like the person right
so like
before?
I see you as a soulmate. No, it's not right before. And sometimes it can be, though. So for me, I would say mine was not immediately before you, but it was before you. But it was like there was a few guys that came in between.
I see.
And I think for
you
would say
Yeah, I've had some people in my past where like things were like very great, but then it like got very volatile.
Yeah, well, and then oftentimes it becomes hard to detach for one over the other one. It's always like one is easily like, all right, we're done, and then the other is like, no, like, so it's
Oh yeah, for
so,
sure.
so it's just really interesting, you know, and they come at different points in our life, and I think they come to teach us some really big lessons about ourselves and often help us to be able to move forward in life.
My goodness.
But they can be really heartbreaking, they can be really intense, they can be really all of those things, but they're also all of the opposite. They're also like so exhilarating, so significant, so meaningful, and yet so impactful and passionate too. Even if you don't even like touch the other person, it can like the whole emotions and everything with it can be so passionate. Yeah, it's just because of that energy. It's exactly. It's like Nine Perfect Strangers.
I was gonna say it's on that Nine Perfect Strangers show where those two were just like doing this energy shit on one another, like, ooh, and they weren't touching one another, but they were just like, oh god, oh.
Yeah, they were. I just had to laugh about.
If there were ever a snippet trailer for this shit episode, it would be. Oh
god, it would be that one. Oh my god.
Oh, that's great. Should start doing that. Little like trailers for the episode to throw out there on social media. Man, just making more work for myself.
Just making more work for yourself. Well, work smarter, not harder, Dave.
Yeah, I'll pay Gatsby to do it. Gatsby!
No, he's being a good boy.
What's happening?
He's being sweet. He's such a lover. He truly is.
Boy.
He's such a lover.
Yeah.
He's like, he is like my, like, wanting to, he's my inner cuddle bug.
Oh, you go.
Just like wants to lay around and do nothing and be loved and fed good food and to be taken care of and, yeah.
You know, sleep.
And sleep. Because I like sleep.
Yeah.
But then, you know.
Not the puking constantly part, though.
Well, yeah, that's an anxiety thing.
But that's a Gatsby thing, so.
Yeah, that's an anxiety thing. But I also understand that I've also learned and have been observing that when he pukes a lot, it's often because maybe I'm overeating a little bit. Because he's overeating, because that's what it is. He overeats because of anxiety.
You're the one.
And sometimes I overeat because of stress.
It's been you all
without
along.
like, well, yeah, they are reflections of me. I know that they are, especially because of their intense connection with me. They're not. No, Dave.
No. All right.
I'll get you before the cats.
What else do we have? Anything else we want to mention here about Soulmates before we sign off? We got only a short period of time left.
I feel like you're my soulmate.
Oh, well, that's very nice. I mean, I do as well think that you are my soulmate. I mean, we've been told from people that, like, we come from other galaxies that are far away and not in Star Wars, but maybe. But we were, like, from 2 neighboring planets, is that right?
Yeah.
And past lives or future lives, was it? Future?
I think there was a past.
I can't remember.
That's one of many stories that we've been told, though.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah, we've been, but that theme tends to be a thing where we're not from this world. And
aliens.
We're here in this
far
world now.
away aliens.
I don't feel like I'm from this world.
Weird. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Well, it's a weird thing amongst many within the spiritual community. I find is like we all tend to like have this sense of. We didn't necessarily want to come here this incarnation.
I don't feel that way for me, though.
Really? Don't? Okay.
I don't.
I've heard it a lot recently, honestly, the people I've been talking to.
Well, yeah, because maybe that's how you're feeling in your life. And, like, that's a reflection of you, right?
Interesting.
Like, I've heard that a lot, too. But for me, I know that I wanted to come here. And I... don't feel like I am happy about it.
You knew you were going to be a magical fairy
in real life.
Oh
my god, no, but I don't know. I'm even despite some of the really traumatic things that have happened and some of the really intense and sad moments I've gone through. I'm happy I'm here on this planet, and I'm happy that
That's good.
Because I feel like I've come here to learn. Like, I know that for a fact. I've come here to just learn stuff. And to learn as much as I possibly can and do as much as I possibly can. But also, like, help as much as I possibly can, too, at the same time. You want to churn? What does
No,
that
I said
mean?
I want to return to wherever it is that I, in my, like, oversoul hail from.
Yeah.
So, like, somewhere beyond.
Maybe that's why we were on neighboring planets.
Interesting.
Maybe it's the future.
Maybe it is.
No. Don't leave Earth, Dave.
Don't leave Earth, Dave.
You know, the thing is, that's another thing I've been pondering a lot recently, and that I don't think...
We don't want to get too off track of soulmates, though.
Well, yeah. Let me see. I bet you I could segue it back in. I bet you I could.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me think in my mind.
No. So I've been thinking about the idea that we sort of don't quite really think about the infinitesimally small window of time in which we exist here on Earth in this incarnation when compared to the infinite existence.
Yeah, our time here truly is limited.
So, like, I've been truly thinking about that more and more because I've been listening to Ron Doss talk about it, about the idea that we need to connect more to our infinite existence because it will help us to not be so goddamn afraid.
Well, yeah,
you know?
Exactly, because we'll understand that we're supported and that we came here with the tools that are necessary.
Yeah, that it's just not like you have one shot, one opportunity to take everything that you ever wanted.
There will be moments that you'll feel that way, but that's
Don't let it slip.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not a big deal.
I was hoping you were going to do the whole thing.
Calm down. It's not a big deal, y'all.
Knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on a sweat,
no,
ready.
No.
Mom spaghetti.
You know, he's starting that shit. I heard a rumor he was starting that shit in the D somewhere, some place called Mom Spaghetti.
What?
Yeah, I swear to God, I heard something about that on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, it's probably fake, but whatever.
That would be really, I don't...
Opening up shop and getting into the restaurateur business.
I would want to know. I would
getting
be
into the
very
Italian
curious
mob.
What that would be like.
Got a place called Mom Spaghetti.
Wow. Anyway. So soulmates. Anyway, soulmates. I feel like I said, I feel like you're one of my soulmates, and I can say that about a few other people that have recently entered my life or have been in my life for some time. And one of the things that I will say about soulmates is that I've learned so much about love through soulmate relationships, about how to love not only others, but how to love myself and how to
That's the key.
Take care and, honor who I am, but also honoring my body and my space, my boundaries, and all of those things. I've learned not only how to be more loving towards myself, but like I said, also more compassionate and empathetic with others, because the more people that we can connect to, even if they're not our soulmates, but oftentimes if we open up ourselves to connect to more like-minded people, we're going to connect to a lot of soulmates. And like we said, sometimes soulmates aren't meant to stay in your life for forever. That guy you met at the bus station could have been a soulmate for that brief moment.
It could have been Jesus.
It could have been Jesus. It could have been Jesus. You don't know.
That's right. Well, I was just thinking about the idea that, like you were saying about self-love, you have to think about other people that you meet as you. So really your first soulmate is you. So like coming into relationship with yourself and recognizing that it is a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Nurturing yourself with good thoughts, with, reinforced positivity, with, an outward appearance that is reflective of how you feel on the inside, right? Mm-hmm. A surrounding around you, your environment that is reflective of who you are on the inside. Again, everything is reflective. So like if you have that on the outside, that's what you're going to feel back when you look at it, right? Or when you experience it through someone else's eyes, right? When someone comes into your space and sees your home and goes, whoa, this is fucking cool, you know? That lifts your spirit, and it feeds your soul, and it brings you in more of a close relationship with your self-love. And it's
well, yeah, that's one form of connecting with self-love, because you don't want to rely just on the outer.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, when it comes to like relationships between you and yourself, plus, you know, versus you and the outer world, they are interrelated in that sense. And so if you can manage the relationships between other people in the exterior world in the same way that you manage your interior relationship with yourself, then everything will be in harmony. That's what I was saying.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. And it is Libra season, so it's all about that harmony, baby.
Libra.
And balance.
Like a zebra.
I did have a zebra phase for a long time.
Ooh, girl.
So that statement was true, at least for me.
It's
for this Libra.
Fucking insane.
Right? I know, right? Well, I feel like...
we went right from Soulmates to Zebras, like, really quickly.
Well, it's just like how we went from Soulmates to Iron Man, so...
That's what this show is about.
Maybe Zebras and Iron Man are some of our soulmates.
Just a really cyclical like journey. There is no linearness about it. I was actually thinking about that earlier today, that like oftentimes we operate in our day-to-day lives now in a more cyclical manner, where like we're doing things in order to like meet certain, you know, choices and expectations, and when the plan changes we kind of roll with that and we flow with that, you know, versus like having a linear path, and when you have things that have, you know, disruption to that, you could like
you freak out.
Fuck, you know, and everything branches off into like chaos. So
everything branches off into chaos. So yeah, I think Loki Soulmates style. I love Lucky style. So yeah, soulmates are, I think, truly special and are one of the infinite possibilities that can happen that is a rarity at the same time. It's a rarity, but an infinite possibility.
As rare as life existing at all in the universe.
Correct.
Because everything is, I think, a reflection of that infinitesimally small possibility. The impossible. Made possible.
Whoa. So, tell your soulmates.
That's a great way to end it.
Yes. Well, possible. I was going to say.
Possible.
And now we cut off. Done. Bye. No, I'm just kidding.
No. What do you gotta say?
I had to say, tell your soulmates how much you love them.
Even
tell
yourself.
Your soulmates, yes, how much you appreciate them. Tell your soulmates how much you support them. And actually, you know, do those things not just like mean it and feel it, but do it too. Like take the action towards it to give that. And then also do the same for yourself. You know, honor yourself, acknowledge yourself, see yourself, and hear yourself, and respect and love yourself, so you can do the same with all the other soulmates that you will come across in this limited time that we have here on planet Earth.
Planet Earth.
Wow. I feel like that was like a really weird, like, I don't know, that was a weird moment. Like here on planet Earth, I felt like when I said that, I like connected with something else that like, I don't know how to explain. It was really interesting.
Something came in. Maybe it was a dimensional soulmate of yours. An interdimensional soulmate.
Ooh, interdimensional soulmates. That's totally gotta be a thing.
It's gotta be a thing. I love how we came up with that right in the last second.
I know, right? Well, technically, this is the timing of this isn't truly accurate to the show because we
that's true. We
started recording like 5 minutes after.
No. It was like 3. I was looking at the timer over there when we did it.
But then we had to get up again.
Okay.
I feel like it's more like 5, but we can look and we'll find out and discover.
Do we have to finish this bowl?
I think there might be like a hit left.
Oh, there's a hit left, girl.
There's a hit left,
girl. We gotta just finish it off. Kind of keep getting ash all over this white shirt.
Don't get it on Gatsby.
I won't. Don't get it on the cat. I don't care about your shirt.
Well, no, it's not. I do care about your shirt.
Dude, it's a cat. You just wipe it right off. It'd be fine.
No,
It stains
no.
the shirt.
It's like, would you want to get ash on your child?
That's different.
No, it's not. It's the same.
The child
It's the
isn't
same.
covered in
Fur
hair.
child. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Why are you stabbing me, woman?
I didn't mean to.
God damn.
See, in moments like this, I like to tell Dave, "You're my soulmate."
Or you chose
And
me.
you chose me.
Okay.
You married me ×3 in
So-
one summer.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
where can people find us on the interwebs?
They can find us everywhere. But before I tell you
Everywhere?
that, yeah, everywhere.
We're on every website?
Yep.
Oh my god.
One day. No.
That must cost $1 billion
That probably would cost
in
a lot.
ad revenue.
Well, I wanted to say one last little mini micro thing. This Friday.
Micro thought.
This Friday is our anniversary, our 3-year anniversary.
Anniversary!
Of us being together,
And
of
we're
us
gonna celebrate
meeting
on
ever.
Making Me.
In person, meeting in person.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, if you want to,
Mazel.
if you're watching this, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to also like the video at the end too. So that also helps us grow. Share, do the bell notification. So you can get notified. Yeah, just like that. So every time that bell goes off, it'll be higher consciousness.
Love it.
So, and then if you want to watch our Make and Bakes and our Wake and Bakes on Thursdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have to follow us on our Insta.
That's noon, y'all.
Yep, that's noon. Insta is higher_consciousness_talk.
Get us on the Instas.
And you will find that all the goods, and you'll see.
You'll find all the goods.
You'll find all the goods, and
All
the Make
those
and Bakes,
goods.
and the Wake and Bakes, and all the the
good,
Mary
good
Jane, and all the
gracious.
conversations, and all the kitty interruptions, and everything in between. So,
Love it. Just absolutely.
oh, so great.
Love it.
And then season 5, new episodes every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's right.
And the next one, we'll be talking about romantic relationships.
Ooh.
So,
oh man, I
you
know
remember
exactly what I'm gonna do for the podcast on that one.
Oh,
Those
yeah?
of you listening to the podcast know what I'm talking about.
yeah, right? First off, also, like, any podcasters, what do you think of that? I'm just going to leave it.
All right, no.
I'm just
No
going to
more.
leave it.
Can't say nothing about it because we're not talking about it.
We already did.
Stop it.
They know what they're
Stop
talking
it.
about, but maybe
Stop it.
they don't.
Stop it.
Maybe they
Stop
have
it.
no idea.
Stop it. Secrets. Stop
I
it.
think, honestly, hold on. There's been some people that I know listen to our podcast that have not yet picked up on the little fun
Well,
thing that we do for every episode.
I'm sure that they have.
Some have, but I don't think some have. Like, I think some
just
people
don't want to mention
don't
it,
like-
or don't seem like it's an important thing to mention.
it.
And now our cats.
Now
are
the girls are
playing.
just chasing each other around the house.
Well, this is going to
Okay.
turn into a cat fight very soon. So
Yeah,
we should
so
go.
we need to break it up.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We will see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hit the button.
Listen to more Higher Consciousness every Thursday on Spotify at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.